Hello Drone Racers, I'm Mark, and today on Drone Racer 101 we're going to look at some budget goggle options. Everybody keeps asking me what budget goggles to buy. Today I'm going to look at what I think are the two best budget goggle options. Now, budget means something different to everyone. For some people, $300 are the budget goggles because those aren't HDOs, but here we're going to look at basically a $50 and a $100 option. And I think that will fit most people's version of budget. But then it depends on how tight your budget is. Are these worth the extra $50? So these are the EV800 goggles. These are the EV800D goggles. They are basically exactly the same case-wise. Everybody's asking, are the EV800Ds worth it over the EV800s? I mean, they look basically the same, don't they? And they do. They're pretty close. Here, look, though, it's pretty obvious right there, one of the first big differences. The EV800D has diversity, meaning we have two antenna connections, and I believe from what I've seen, people who've torn these apart, these do have two separate receivers. Now, I'm talking about the Eachine EV800Ds. The Eachine EV800Ds are very well put together. There are other brands out there that make goggles called the EV800Ds, and they are not the same. I've not used them all, but I've talked to numerous people who have tried the other EV800Ds and say they are not the same. So I'm talking about Eachine brands in this case. So does diversity matter? Well, it depends on how you're flying. Here we have a directional patch antenna, and these are the antennas that come with this. These are the one goggles I can think of that I have not replaced the antennas on. I actually think these antennas are pretty good. So if you're flying just in your backyard, very close range, it probably isn't going to make any difference. But if you're like me and you fly up to 200 or 250 meters away, I can tell a significant difference with a patch antenna, which is what this is. That's included. This will help you get that additional range and penetration if you fly on the other side of trees. It can make a really, really big difference. So that is great, but that's not the main reason I recommend the EV800Ds over the EV800. The biggest difference is right here. See that? That's a SD card slot because the EV800D have a built-in DVR. So even if you don't plan on posting your videos for your friends or to YouTube or anything, this can be a lifesaver. These are about $50 more than these, and this one feature can more than make up the difference. I have had numerous times, if you see me flying, I have landed in the grass, the tall grass, multiple times. And without having a DVR footage to look at, I might have totally lost those quads. I've only lost one quad, and it was not something with this type of video at all. I wasn't using goggles at all, so I didn't have a DVR option. It didn't have any type of display, and it was gone. But because of the DVR, I've never lost a quad where I've been flying with this type of goggle. I record every single flight, even if I'm not planning on posting it, just in case. Heck, I've had drones just land out on the golf course and they were difficult to find. And in the short grass, it can be hard to find a quad sometimes, especially when you're flying a 3-inch or something. It can be really hard to find them, so that DVR makes a world of difference. So other differences between these, but I don't really care about. This has a 1S battery, which is actually kind of nice. Because of that, you actually get a USB charger with the EV800, so you can plug this into USB. It does come with a USB power brick if you need it for some reason. You can also charge it off of a JST. I just double checked off the manual, which is actually pretty good. And it says you can charge it off of a 2 or 3S JST connection. So that's pretty nice. You can charge it and run it off of this. You can run it live if you need to, or you can just use that to charge it. The EV800D, on the other hand, uses a 12-volt input. So you get an option, the same cable that you can charge off of, but you can't charge it off of USB. The input for this is 12 volts. So it actually comes with a wall charger. Both of them also come with a carrying bag if you need that, I guess. They both have one of my favorite features. They come apart. This is one of the reasons I recommend everyone have an EV800D and start with one, because this is the best accessory. I use this all the time. If I'm filming, I use this all the time. If I've got somebody that I just want to show a flight and I don't know what their prescription is, especially if they have goggles, I take this apart, I can hand it to them. If I'm viewing back footage, so I'm watching my DVR to find the drone that I lost in the grass, I will take this apart and I can carry this with me and watch it, and it's very convenient, and I don't have to walk around with goggles up to my eyes the whole time. I can just sit and hold this. So I love the fact that these come apart. It's good that this comes apart, but it's only live footage. You're not going to be able to watch your DVR on this because it doesn't have one. Both have a search feature that's actually pretty good. It's not terrible. It's not the best one out there, but it's pretty pretty good, and it's useful enough when you're not sure you can get close. As far as I can tell, they have the exact same screen. This is an 800 by 480 screen, and I think it's really immersive. And they both have the same fabric on the outside here. You can't wear your glasses with either one of them, but they have this really comfortable fabric on them, and they fit with a 3-strap head strap, so I think they're really comfortable. They are not adjustable, but they work for almost everyone. Other goggles like the VRD2s, you can adjust the screen, but as far as I've seen, everybody puts it in the exact same spot, which is just where this is. So, in my opinion, is the EV800D worth an extra $50? Yes, 100%, because it has a DVR. That DVR works really, really well too. It's really good at not dropping frames. So this actually is very convenient if you are going to post your videos to YouTube or something, or you're going to be doing editing. So are there other acceptable, cheaper options? Well, kind of. This is the Eachine VR006. There's also a 007, which is pretty similar. Now this is the non-diversity version. There is a version that has diversity for the exact same price. So if you're buying this, buy the diversity version. This is the version that came with the E13 drone, which it's turned out to be pretty good in the long run, even though I had some problems with the first batch that shipped. Now this I'm gonna say is $40. I've been calling this $50. It's more like $55 and like $90. So the difference between these is actually less than I was even talking about. These are about $40 or $36, depending on when you're looking. Prices vary all the time. They just change around all the time. So these are about the cheapest acceptable goggles. I'm gonna call these acceptable. They're not good by any means, but they're acceptable. You can fly with these. They do have a built-in scanner, but it's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. They do have a built-in battery. I don't even remember how big it is. And it does charge via USB, which is actually kind of nice. So if you're getting started and you've got to go as cheap as you possibly can, these are okay, but for $20 more, these are a lot better. These only have a 500 by 300 screen, and you can kind of see, so it's hard to get a sense of the difference in size from this camera and from a video, but you've got the VR006s there, and here you've got the EV800s. Either one will look like this. So there with them side by side, this is just a lot larger, it's a lot more immersive, but it's not a lot more money. So if you are on a budget, I would definitely try and go for the EV800s, but if you can swing it, I would go for sure for the EV800Ds. So say you hate box goggles, but you're still on a budget. There is one more option. These are the EV100 goggles that came out right at a year ago. So some people love these and still use them. Some people absolutely hated them. I have a whole video comparing these and the EV800Ds. So you can look at that. That was my recommended budget DVR goggle video. Spoilers, the EV800Ds win. I would still recommend those, but if you really, really don't want box goggles, these are an acceptable option. I don't fly with them. I don't use them very often because they are a very small screen. But you know what? If you're just starting out and you're on a budget, it might be acceptable. It might get you what you need. You add the DVR, these are like $115. So they cost a little more once you add the DVR. So I'm not gonna get to everything about these goggles again because I've done that with the comparison between these two. But I wanted to show you, in my opinion, these are kind of your 4 options getting started for budget goggles. Now, if you have $250 to $300, your options change a lot. There's a lot of options in that range. Pretty soon I'll tell you which of those I recommend. But for now, for budget goggles, here you go. Hopefully, now whenever anybody asks me, what do I recommend, the EV800 or the EV800Ds? Well, this is why. I can just point you to this video. But if you found this useful, leave a like and a comment down below and let me know, what do you think? Or am I missing some? There are the VRD3s coming out soon, but I'll be surprised if they beat the EV800Ds. I mean, these goggles are just great. But until next time, remember, for everybody that watched my DVR video and made fun of me, look, that is definitely a 0 and a 1. That is not an O and an I. I mean, come on, that's pretty clear. And if you don't have any idea what I'm talking about, I'll link that video up here.